Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. The night before Jesus is crucified, he makes a statement that I believe summarizes what it means to be crucified and what it means to be crucified with Christ. And it was made in his prayer to his Father in Gethsemane. He says there in verse 39, he says, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." It's that last statement that really summarizes what it means to be crucified. Not as I will, but as you will. It was that submission to the Father's will that led Jesus to be crucified and to give up all for the greater good and the greater purpose that God had prepared. And if you think about us as we consider ourselves as crucified with Christ, as Romans chapter 6 talks about, Galatians chapter 2, and other places, as we consider ourselves crucified with Christ, that statement really summarizes what it means to be crucified with Christ. It means not as I will, but as you will. In other words, we submit now to the Father's will. It's no longer about us. Galatians chapter 2 and verse 20, the Apostle Paul says, "I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me." And so he says that it's no longer I who live. The old self has been crucified with Christ, as Romans chapter 6 talks about. And that means that we now give our will up and over to the Father to submit to him entirely. And there's several reasons why this would be the right thing to do. For one, because of God's authority. God is sovereign over all creation. He is the one who brought everything into existence. Without him, we would not even be alive. It's through him that we live and move and have our very being. It's from him and through him and to him are all things. Everything owes its existence to God, and he is sovereign above all things. So it ought to be that we say, not as I will, but as you will, Father. But then also because of his great wisdom. Oftentimes our will is very short-sighted. We don't know all the ins and outs. We don't know how the domino effect will be in certain circumstances. And we don't really see the whole picture, but God sees it all and he knows it all. And he's, through his wisdom, he has a perfect will that will work all things to completion and to the greater good. And so we need to submit to the Lord in this way because he has greater knowledge than us. But we should also submit to him because of the fact that, he is the one who does have a greater purpose in mind. Whenever, if everything was left up to our will, our will is oftentimes very selfish. We want what will give immediate gratification, what will bring the greater relief to us and comfort to us and maybe even to others. We are very short-sighted and we're very self-focused when it comes to our will. We want things to work according to the way that we would like them to work out. And God's will is more objective. God's will is able to look at, again, the better good, the greater good. He's able to work all things together for good for those who love him. And we don't always know that. And we can't always say that. And our will, again, is so strong oftentimes that we just want a quick fix. And we just want whatever will bring the greatest relief in the quickest time. But again, God's will is better because, he is able to see things that we are not able to. So it makes sense that we would submit our will to such a God and to such a creator. And if we are going to say that we are going to follow Christ, we must deny ourselves, take up our cross and follow him. And what that means is that we make this statement each and every day. And I would say each and every moment, not as I will, but as you will. As John the Baptist says, I must decrease, but he must increase. We need to all the more seek his will in all things so that he can be glorified and that his will can be done on earth as it is in heaven. So here's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.